Oilersnation After Dark begins now.
A performance from the Edmonton Oilers in this hockey game, a game one. Sean Pangan even pinched me because they found a way to win this one. It was, I don't know if I want to use the word domination, but I might use it for the final 40 minutes of that hockey game. I'll definitely use it in the middle 20 frame. The depth of the Edmonton Oilers shine bright in this hockey game. Calvin Pickard continues to do what Calvin Pickard does, where he just shuts the door in the clutch moments. And the Edmonton Oilers steal home ice advantage back from the Las Vegas Golden Knights as they defeat them by a score of 4-2. And brother, the vibes couldn't be any better right now. Hello and welcome to Oilers Nation After Dark. I am your host, Bordzy, joined by Pangsy, and ONAD is always a presentation of Bet365. Download the app today because whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. I also profited off a beautiful Connor Brown anytime goal in this hockey game. We got Rick joining us here. He's hopping in. We got to get to Devan Dubnyk first before we can get you. So we got to go through Dubes. I do want to say, great tweet here from Jack Michaels. Said, that's the first time in the history of the Stanley Cup playoffs that a team has recorded 5 consecutive comeback wins in the same postseason. Oilers have outscored the opposition 17-6 in the third period in the NHL playoffs. The comeback kids down but never out. Oh, baby, they were fantastic tonight. Joined by Sean Pangan, even writer here at Oilers Nation. We will be joined by Edmonton Oilers former goaltender Devan Dubnyk in just a moment. But Pangsy, it's only a Tuesday night, but the vibes are pretty damn good down here at Greta Bar. That one right there, Millie rocking, doing the stanky leg on the dance floor. Vibes are incredible. Vibe check right now. What a win.
Oh my gosh, I just want to just do the robot like this, like this song.
Do whatever movie you like.
Big win tonight. Oh my gosh. I mean, especially just the way it ended. It ended with Connor Brown looking more like Connor McDavid there, and just Dirty Daniels scoring. So the vibes are absolutely high right now. I don't know how you stay focused doing these post shows with all this party going on.
You asked me earlier on pregame today. You said, so does it get pretty loud here on the postgame show? Oh, brother, you better buckle up for this one, because it's a little hard to hear. Now, it's lit inside Greta Bar, favorite spot in the city. Another fantastic Nation event went down. It's also lit in the chat right now, and I'm pretty much cutting it only to reading Super Chats because there's so many Super Chats in here in the postseason. Reminder, all your Super Chats are in support of the Ben Stelter Foundation, a cause very near, very dear. And we have already raised $471.15. We'll kick it off. I missed this from Mistaken Mexican on pre-gaming. Pre-game ritual is done. Hope Will Never Die shirt repositioned. Nudes jersey on, and Fight Like Ben bracelet is on. Let's go Oilers. Cap, yeah?
Cap, yeah.
Austin's in. These are the After Darks. F you very much. Lost Vegas. Our time for Ben. Southpaw 1069. Nice. Says Hope Will Never Die. Edmonton Wet Blanket Oilers and downtown motherfucking Connor Brown. Say less. Cup, yeah.
Cup, yeah.
Mackay and Dries in Bordzy Bars live. $6.99. We won 4-2, but today dreams came true. Finally met the pre-gaming crew. Still at the U, so can't have a brew. But Oilers Nation, I love you. Absolute bars from Mackay and Dry, who we finally got to meet in person. Probably the smartest guy that watches our programming, and shout out to him. Jonathan Baker, $4.99. I started donating $5 after our Game 3 win against LA. Now it feels like I have to keep it going for Ben LFG boys. He also forgot to add in there a simple cup, yeah.
Cup, yeah.
I'll be the captain. I'm the captain now. John Klingberg is the captain now. He was fantastic in this hockey game. I can't wait to ask Dubes about him. $20, another live bet comeback equals another 24. Ben, play la bamba, baby. Yeah, look, down 2-0. The Oilers were only plus 350 for the comeback. The sportsbooks knew they were going to do it. Everybody knew it. And then there's my boy, Cup, yeah, in the chat. $139.99. Finally using his actual face inside the chat. Nice. Shout out to him. He says, no lead is safe when I comes to the goddamn Edmonton Oilers. Cup, yeah. for the Golden Knights Mayor Connor McBrown. And what the fuck was that call on Connor Brown? Another one we'll ask Dewey about. That was bullshit. I was furious. And another one there where, hey, the Oilers PK, they get scored on to start the hockey game. Big moment for them in the third period. They came through big. Tammy, my queen, $30.69. Nice, says Pickles, 5 in a row. Stick taps, hearts for Ben. Always a motherfucking cup, yeah.
Cup, yeah.
Darian's in, $13.99. The boys were dogs tonight. Cup, yeah, baby. That's a cup, yeah.
Cup, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Sorry.
You got thrown off by
I
the dogs.
did. It was a really good bark.
The dogs will
It
get
was
you
a really
going.
good bark.
Rusty, he's in. The Edmonton Oilers are the first team to earn 5 straight comeback playoff W's. Vegas Golden Knights was 26-0 in the playoffs with a multi-goal lead until tonight. LFG. Cup, yeah.
Cup, yeah.
Darian again, $2.79. Pickard, only goalie left who hasn't lost a game. There's some dogs in there as well. Percy, not Jackson. Vegas, more like Vegas. Way to grind, Oilers. 11 more La Bombas to go for Cup, yeah.
Cup, yeah.
P.S. I'll never get tired of downtown Connor Brown. Today, Pat and I were talking about last year and the Matt bit that we went down with. I feel bad about that one now that he's really done so many awesome things for the Oilers this season. Continues to in the NHL playoffs. Bob Stauffer, $6.99. Might be those boys, question mark. Love you, Bordzy. Love you, too. Nothing's done yet, though. Got to stay humble. Hashtag for Ben in the wise words of the Black Mamba. Job's not finished. Okay, that is only one. You get no awards for that. Brownie USA. Just a simple $9.99. Shout out. We appreciate you. Bosch is in. Smiley Kenny Banyuface, $13.99. Smiles downtown in Browntown, baby. Himes with the body and the rocket. Pickles, 5-0, baby. F yeah, I am fired up. Why? Not sure. Oh yeah, because it's a cup, yeah.
Cup, yeah.
Austin's in. Got the damn likes up, my ON fam. Get the damn likes up. Mr. Cates, not the owner of the Oilers, but he might as well be as far as I'm concerned. I'll choose to believe that. Says, no one has seen this Oilers team all season. Even the Oilers don't know what they can do now that they're getting healthy. Can I get a cup, yeah?
Cup, yeah.
Also threw in a woo, woo, woo. Mr. Burns in $5. Vegas got deep fried in hot oil. Cup, yeah.
Cup, yeah.
D-Pals in $13.99. Klingberg is a game changer. Now, if we get past Vegas Golden Knights and Ekholm comes back, cup, yeah, guaranteed. Brother, job's not finished. Let's not even begin to go there, but I appreciate the $13.99. Mistaken Mexican, $118.28. Oilers, the first team in NHL history with 5 comeback wins. I don't know if you've heard the news, but it'll keep flying it in the chat here. The Oilers love a good comeback.
Amazing.
Let's friggin' go. Play La Bamba, baby. This is a goddamn cup. Yeah, Connor. Who? It's Connor friggin' Brown. Jordan, $27.99 in your own barn, baby. Can I get a cup, yeah?
Cup, yeah.
You people can get all the cup years you want. If you attach it to charity and the Ben Stelter Foundation, we will bark it. We will yell it. You know the drill by now, Lance Kane. Cup, yeah, baby. Don't stop believing. Toe King. Very creative name for that one for all the grass connoisseurs out there, I will say. Watching the Oilers win has to be the best way to wait for your flights to oil country. Motherfucking cup, yeah.
Cup,
Get down to
yeah,
oil
baby.
country. Get down to Greta Bar Yeg specifically as well. Quinn from Ohio, play La Bamba, play Pink Pony Club. They've yet to play that one in the bar right now.
Yeah.
That's one missed opportunity here at Greta that I'm looking for them to fix. I'm sure we'll get it. Mistaken to another $20. Home ice is ours. The Rogers wrapped in red event. Cadbury mini egg, $5. I have to say it. If they put it to charity, Jorkin my shit to Connor Brown like always. I've seen enough Edmonton Connor Browns in 4 cup. Yeah, $13.99. More energy, Bordzy. Give me a fucking cup. Yeah.
Cup, yeah.
There it is. I don't want to break any eardrums. Sherry's in. Hashtag cup, yeah, baby. Woo. Play La Bamba, baby. Aloha from Hawaii. Lay. That's a lay. That's a virtual lay. I gave you a Bordzy. Cup. Pang. Yeah. I'll say cup. You say yeah. Cup.
Yeah.
Cup.
Yeah.
There it is. And that'll do it for the Super Chats to start. That is a cool $550 before we unpack anything about this hockey game tonight, Panger. Before we bring on our friend Dubes, I do want to ask you, Vibe check your Greta Bar Yeg. Another fantastic event, another fantastic night. They had the patio open, which had the perfect amount of breeze coming through this place. I got the Big Mac poutine. Never, ever disappoints. The beers were flowing. Greta's special surprises that they give out for every Oilers goal were also flowing. And you got to love when they score 2 late ones in the third period and you get back-to-back special surprises with 5 minutes to go. But Pangs, overall, what a night here at Greta Bar Yag. Really one of the best possible outcomes we could have asked for. Yes, would you like the Oilers to not go down 2 goals? But as people in the chat pointed out, it gives you a prime opportunity to bet the comeback. No complaints here.
Absolutely. After that first period, it kind of seemed like the energy wasn't as high, we'll say. But you know what? I will say, I got to give this guy credit because I don't know if anybody says it. He keeps the vibe going in between periods, yelling. He's telling people, like right now, they're even cheering his name. But that being said, he gets the vibes going. And the fact that the outcome, like just being here is amazing. But the outcome of the game just set the vibes going. As soon as they play Pink Pony Club, I don't know. I'm going to start dancing. I know everybody else.
I'm going to start jumping through your television sets because I'm about to have an evening. All right, let's bring him on. Our pal Devan Dubnyk, and his appearances are brought to you by Tourism Jasper, because shout out to Jasper this summer. Find your happy place in Jasper. From hiking trails, paddling wild waters, or sharing laughs by the fire, happiness finds you here. Jasper is open, vibrant, ready to welcome you back for more unforgettable moments. So drive over, play outside, soak up the fresh air, enjoy some food and drink, and maybe even stay up late because your summer memories aren't behind you. They're waiting for you this summer in Jasper. Devan Dubnyk, if the Oilers continue to play like that, I think we're going to have some very positive memories as we continue to move along in these NHL playoffs. Dubes, that was some great hockey, dude. Like, thoroughly, that third period was just 2 awesome hockey teams going back and forth at it, creating, defending, creating, up and down the ice. I'm shocked that we are sitting here and it's not a triple overtime game. I'm shocked that the Edmonton Oilers found a way to gut that one out. We were texting during the game and the Oilers were using their depth. They were rolling. Holy shit, John Klingberg. I apologize for anything bad, and I said a lot of bad things during the regular season. I didn't mean a word that I said, brother, because you are fantastic. The Oilers stick with it in this hockey game, and they eventually find a way to break the Golden Knights late. We texted and said, Golden Knights, very tough team to crack, but Doobie, we both felt confident that the Oilers' depth, the Oilers tonight, they would not be denied.
Well, and that's the biggest thing is the depth, right? It's that constant pressure, and you could see, when you're watching the game, especially in the third period, but even starting in the second period, just that relentless, they would go in, even if they weren't creating anything, it didn't matter. It was next line up. They would go in, they would forecheck. They made it very difficult on Vegas, just getting comfortable with the puck. It was just every time they moved it, another guy was on it. They get it out of the zone. They're right on him by the red line, blue line at worst, turning it over, coming right back the other way. And it was just constant and constant and constant. Similar to that to later on in the LA series, where all they can do when they finally get the puck back is flip it in, and sometimes they couldn't even get it all the way deep, and the Oilers are coming right back at them in waves, and it is just unsustainable because now that you have the depth chipping in with scoring, it's not even just the scoring, it's just the every line going in and doing the job offensively. It's not, they're going to work below the goal line. They're just wearing the team down, and we know how good they are offensively. We know how creative they are, that if they just constantly wear these teams down and constantly get the puck, transition, and get back going up the ice in the neutral zone, eventually those plays are going to open up. And against these good defensive teams like Vegas they were still well structured, even though Edmonton's buzzing, especially in the second period. They're getting chances, but Vegas is still defending well. There's not a lot of open stuff. It's hard to create. Eventually you wear them down, though, and stuff will open up, and that's exactly what happened. You go back to Klingberg. We talk about Klingberg. Everyone looks at him to go in the lineup. They're thinking about offense, right? They're thinking about shots from the point, getting assists. John Klingberg has been so good since he's got back in this lineup at moving the puck up the ice to the forwards, which when you're an Edmonton Oiler as a defenseman, that is your number one job, is get the puck in the forwards' hands and get it moving forward. He has done it so incredibly well since he's been in the lineup in this series. And if you watch him, if you just ISO him in a game, he does not throw pucks away. He is so patient. He waits. It looks like maybe he's out of options and he needs to get rid of it. He does not get rid of it. He waits. He makes passes. He makes crisp tape-to-tape passes up to the forwards. Perfect example on the game-winning goal. He gets a pass across the ice, not a very good pass. He's got to accept this off the boards. This thing could take a hop. It could do anything. He could tighten up a little bit, feel a little bit of pressure, and maybe just chip it out into the neutral zone. Instead, you'll watch here. The puck comes cross ice to him here. He's got to take this off the boards with the guy coming in on him. He could just chip that off the boards into the neutral zone and live another day. Instead, he corrals it, makes this tape-to-tape missile to Nuge. Right here, this is not an easy play when you have a guy coming at you. Really, he's not barreling in on him, but he has a guy on him here, and the middle of the ice is wide open, so he can't turn it over. Sends a missile tape to Nuge. Zach Hyman, cannon to the back of the net. Those are just little things that he does all game. When you watch him, all game he's moving the puck up the ice. He's got better and better as this playoffs have gone on, and he is a huge addition to that back end. At the start of the LA series, really felt kind of discombobulated with the back end. We didn't know what it was. They were struggling defensively. They were struggling getting the puck moving forward, just breaking pucks out. And John Klingberg coming in. We talked a lot about Evander Kane coming in on the forward side and really settling in the four lines identities. I think John Klingberg has been as important, if not more important, than Evander Kane coming in the lineup.
I think he has been, without a doubt, the most surprising and the most impactful of the Evander Kane, Trent Frederick, and John Klingberg. I mean, you look through it, it's also kind of hilarious. On that play, John Klingberg doesn't end up even getting on the score sheet with that one. He doesn't get an apple. It's those subtle plays. Panger, me and you were watching the game together all night tonight going, man, there's another one where he comes out of the battle with the puck, where he simply loops around again, lives to see another day, has a moment, banks the puck off the boards onto someone, tape-to-tape passes left, right, and center in this hockey game. He plays 19 minutes and 37 seconds, doesn't have a shot, but it's those subtle plays that we just mentioned. And you kind of talked about the depth. So the Oilers, I thought, in this game were rolling their forward lines. It didn't matter who was out there. The fact of the matter was, I felt to start that game, especially in the first 20, McDavid Draisaitl line might have been the third best trio that we had out there, because the Rico, Brownie, and Trent Frederick line, I thought they were fantastic in this hockey game. They were so hard on the forecheck, playing below the goal line. Connor Brown looks like a completely different player than the guy we saw not score for nearly 60 games last year in the regular season. Evander Kane, Zach Hyman, they're bringing the physicality on the forecheck. When Pods and Arvidsson are able to get that out on the ice, they were, like you mentioned, maybe not producing, but they were dominating the pace of play. They were tilting the ice. They were the aggressors out there, and it felt like Connor and Leon, and it's funny because both of them once again finished this game with 2 points each. Leon Draisaitl does score a goal, but they were kind of kept in check for, I'll say, a portion of this hockey game. You could see Connor McDavid was visibly frustrated at points. He was fumbling pucks all over the place. That also applied to Leon Draisaitl. He lost a couple in the neutral zone, allowing some odd man rush opportunities going the other way. What could you say about Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl's game? Because it felt like the first 40, whatever, maybe the first 20 more specifically, they were battling, they were getting stifled, they stuck with it, and then they found a way. But what'd you think of the big dogs on the nuclear line?
Yeah, they just had a whole couple points each. It was an off night for them. I'm wondering when 2+ points for these guys is going to get into the minus territory. And
I think we're almost about there with Connor McDavid.
I think we have to be there. He gets 2+ every night. But that's what's so important about this depth, is that you can't. When you're going through playoff series, if you can't allow the team to shut these guys down and then have it be their game. And if it's an off night, whether pucks are bouncing, if it's just a frustrating game for them, if the other team's doing a good job. Hey, listen, Jack Eichel is an incredible hockey player, and he's really good at defending as well. He's really good in his own. He's going to be a tough one to crack for these guys. So you can't have it where those guys get shut down for a night and your offense is stagnant and you have nothing else. And what happens with the Oilers' depth, they don't need to go in and create all these opportunities. They need to go in and cause chaos. And that's exactly what they did over and over and over again. They went and they wore them down. They had pucks below the goal line. They were still creating, but just kind of off of havoc and chaos. And every time it wears the other team down. There's no, it's not like, I get a breath of fresh air and then we can regroup until Connor and Leon come back on the ice. There was no breath of air for this Vegas team. It was just every single shift having to go back in their zone and get the puck. And every pass they made was under pressure. That guy gets the puck, he's under pressure. They're just scrambling to just make a pass. And by the time they finally get the puck back and get it out, they got to flip it in from the red line if they don't get cut off at that point and are immediately getting it shoved back down their throats. So that's what's so important from these depth players. It's not just chipping in on the score sheet, but having that constant rolling over and over and over again, because you know eventually at some point in the game, Connor, Leon, these top guys, they're going to get their looks. They're going to create things out of nothing. Look at McDavid. I mean, he creates the second goal out of nothing. He's behind his own net. He's a human highlight reel. He's behind his own net. He comes flying up the ice 100 miles an hour. They can't be aggressive on him because he'll just walk you, and he pulls up in the corner. This creates the goal. He was behind his own net when this whole thing started. So if you get this depth rolling and continuing every shift, this stuff is going to happen regardless. But you can't have it as one-offs as the only thing that's happening. And I think that's what plagued the Oilers last time they played the Vegas Golden Knights, was that if these guys weren't going, they had nothing. And what they've shown the last 3 games against LA especially, and the last 4 games against LA, and now game 1, if they continue this continuous rolling of depth and just over and over, they look impossible to beat right now. And that's obviously, it's a long road still, but if they can continue this, they're going to be very, very, very tough to beat.
It was something that was pointed out in the chat there that he said even the Edmonton Oilers don't know how good they could be, because we've only played this many games now with this Trent Frederick, this Evander Kane, the John Klingbergs. I don't know what Matthias Ekholm's situation is. I am not holding my breath by any degree. I have mentally said, okay, we're going the entire playoffs without him. My God, if Matthias Ekholm were to join this team in the NHL playoffs, you're right. The sky is the limit with the squad. Panger, one of Doobie's keys was the penalty kill. Big moment in the third period.
Yeah, Doobie. So heading into this game, the Oilers had one of the worst PKs heading into this. And in pregame, you talked about things that you would have liked to see from the Edmonton Oilers. What did you see from the Oilers PK tonight?
Well, they got some huge blocks. Again, I'm still going to go back. I still don't love their end zone on the PK. It makes me nervous the entire time. The passive forwards rolling up top, I just feel like there's too much room. There's still I think it's unnecessary for the forwards. They seem to get they get dragged down to the wall, and again, it seems like that's their game plan, like it's on purpose. But I just don't understand the passive forwards getting sucked out and then kicking it back up, and there seems to be a lot of room. So it worked tonight for the most part, other than the first goal. But it's still just, I feel like there's more. They're giving more room than they need to with the high forwards kind of purposely rolling and then having one guy trying to block a shot up top. So still don't love that, but they get huge blocks on that penalty kill, multiple blocks, which they're going to need to if they're going to play passive like that. They're letting guys tee up from the outside. And they get a huge save from Pickard. That pass from behind the net out front was an incredible save. You know, those are the ones that seem to trickle through or find a way through goalies when they're moving off their post. He gets a good push off of his post, makes a huge save when it's a tie game, and that's exactly what the Oilers are going to need. That's all Pickard seems to do, right? He doesn't get a ton of work, he doesn't get a ton of shots, but when they do eventually come, he stops them and he looks comfortable doing it. And that's the thing with if the Oilers are going to play this way and you know, constantly have pressure and not be giving up a lot of stuff, they don't want to feel like if something does happen, everybody clenches up because they're unsure what's going to happen behind them. He's been just as steady as anything, even if he only has 1 or 2 shots in these extended periods of time. When that bounce or that turnover happens, he's right there and he's swallowing up his rebounds tonight, and that just lets everybody take a nice deep breath, know he's back there, and know that they can get back to that relentless game going the other way.
Pix has a very calming presence, I'll say, in the crease. Maybe it's compared to Stuart Skinner to me, who is very erratic and sometimes out of position. But Pix, once again, tested a lot in the first period. He sees 10 shots against, allows 2 goals. And then, dude, the Golden Knights had 1 shot in the second period. They had 6 in the third period. So he's not all that tested. Dubes, we've talked about before how tough it is to not be getting a whole lot of action when the ice is tilted in the other area and the other goaltenders getting all the work. But Calvin Pickard, this is game in and game out, 5 and out. 5 W's in a row. And in most of these games, he's shutting the door in the clutch moments. It's all about, we've said it for so long as Oilers Nation citizens here in the chat, we just need the big save, the timely save. We can take 900. We can take, like you see what Pickard has tonight, what he finished with, an 882 save percentage, 15 on 17. But once again, it's making the clutch stops when you need it the most. He shuts the door. I keep saying it. He's got ice in his veins. I want to ask you, though, Dubes, about the other man in the crease, and that is one Adin Hill. 24 saves on 28 shots for an 857 save percentage. Obviously, he's got the Stanley Cup pedigree. He's still 28 years old. He's one of the best Canadian goaltenders in the NHL right now, which also isn't saying a whole heck of a lot, I guess I could say, but curious your thoughts on his performance. I felt like his glove was getting a little picked apart in this hockey game. I don't know if the scouting report is out, but thoughts on Adin Hill allowing 4 goals to the Edmonton Oilers, and most importantly, a big fat L.
Yeah, it was a little nervous for if you're an Oilers fan, especially in the second period. I thought he was really solid, and that was the thing is that even though the Oilers had the puck most of the time and they were generating, that's where you saw Vegas was doing a really good job defending. So they were spending a lot of time on their end. There were chances. There wasn't anything crazy chance-wise because Vegas was defending well, and he looked extremely solid. And that was kind of that nervous time where, like, if that continues on, he could really shut the door and keep this game 2-1, even if Vegas doesn't go get another goal if they continue to defend that way. But definitely started getting he can get a little scrambly. He's a big boy. He's definitely powerful and athletic, but he's not overly flexible or anything. But he plays deeper in his net. He plays positional because he's huge. And he was really solid in the second. And then you saw it started to get a little scrambly for him in the third period with a little more chaos that Edmonton was creating in front of him. And that is really what is going to be important against him, because when you're a big guy like that and you're not overly flexible, if you get out of position, which he doesn't usually, you can see he starts to spin around a little bit. The holes start to open up. And yeah, I mean, that Zach Hyman shot was pretty awesome. And the Connor Brown was too, but that's going to be the key. If Vegas plays well defensively, like the second period, he's tough to beat because he is solid and he's huge in there. But if you can get some east to west, get it opened up, get a little bit of chaos, the holes are going to be there because he's not super athletic when it comes to east-west movement.
Doobie, I feel Connor Brown had a heck of a game. That one goal he scored was fantastic. There was one play where he got the puck, toe drag in all alone, go for the backhand, and then he kind of got shoved into Adin Hill. What was your thoughts on that goaltender interference call?
It's a terrible call. There's nothing. He's trying to score a goal here. He has nowhere to go except where he's going, which is not at the goalie. So first of all, he's got a chance to score here. That's all he's worried about. His trajectory after he takes the shot is outside of the crease to the corner, and he never makes a move to do anything else. He never makes a step towards the goalie. Right here, straight line outside the crease. He gets knocked into the goalie. That is such an easy no call that it's frustrating in the third period of a tie game in the playoffs that gets called when it's so obvious. And the ref has a great angle on it too. He's standing in the corner. He can see the Vegas defender come in directly to him. Like it's just, there's no excuse for calling that penalty in this situation. There's nowhere for him to go. He's trying to go the other way. I mean, I don't need to say much more. It's a terrible call, and the ref had a perfect angle on it. You know, they let so many things go in the playoffs, which is fine. You don't want to see 10 power plays in the playoffs. But if you're gonna call the games tight and you're gonna let things go, you can't be making calls like this. I'm sorry, not halfway through a third period of a tie hockey game. It's ridiculous.
I thought Connor Brown was fantastic. Once again, that was a huge kill for the Edmonton Oilers PK unit that struggled in the round one series against the LA Kings. They had a big moment there. And then obviously Calvin Pickard, as you said, needs to be your best penalty killer. So Doobie, the goal has always and will always be, especially in this series, steal one on the road and take home ice advantage. We said on pre-gaming, hey, I'll take game 1 or 2, but game 1 would be super nice if you could find a way to move on to game 2 and take this thing back 2-0 back to Rogers Place on a Saturday night. Buckle the fuck up if you're in for that building. But obviously, you got to get through game 2 first. But this kind of puts the Vegas Golden Knights on their heels. The momentum, the home ice advantage, everything shifts right here. Now, once again, It is only one game. They say there's no such thing as momentum that carries over from game to game. They all count the same. But I do feel like with the way the Vegas Golden Knights were, especially in that second period, couldn't create much, couldn't defend against the Oilers, wave after wave after wave coming in their defensive zone. I'm just curious what your thoughts are. What do the Golden Knights have to adjust going into game two? Because the Oilers played a damn good hockey game in this one tonight. I'll let you go, and then I'll figure out what the deserve to win meter is. 65.7% for the Edmonton Oilers tonight. Dubes, adjustments for the Vegas Golden Knights in game two?
Well, they're going to have to create more offense. That's, again, easier said than done because you can't create offense. Most of their offense came off of sloppy clears, sloppy play kind of in front of the net with Edmonton where, it was a turnover or just a bad turnover, bad pass. And when those things happen, that's when guys get caught out of position, really, and everyone's kind of scrambling back. And that's really, I want to say from second period on, that was really the only looks that Vegas were getting were off of sloppy play, and it wasn't much. It wasn't like the Oilers. I'm not saying the Oilers were playing sloppy in their end. I'm just saying that was the only time that anything really happened for Vegas. So they're going to have to find a way to create offense. But I think the most important thing is, and it's the way the Oilers are winning these games. And it was like talking about after the overtime game in Edmonton, game 4, and it was like that had to be so deflating for LA because they got absolutely dominated with no answer. And that wasn't far off of tonight. The last 2 periods, there's really no answer for Vegas. And there wasn't an answer for LA in game 5. It was right back to the same thing. Not quite as much in game 6, but still the same idea. And we go into the next one. And so I think the biggest thing for Edmonton is to just continue to build on this identity they have of tilting the ice, turning the pucks over, and getting going the other way. And if they do that constantly, it doesn't mean they're going to win every game. It feels like they're going to win every game right now. But if they continue to do this and continue to get better and build on that play, they might lose a game here or there. But it is really hard if they can just consistently play like this, going the other way, 4 lines, relentless, turning pucks over, transitioning up the ice. It is hard to imagine them losing a 7-game series. If they can put that effort together every single game, it might not turn into a win every single time, but in a 7-game series, it is hard not to see them coming out on top if they can put efforts like that together every single night. And they have now since game 3, not all of game 3, but for the most part from game 3 on. I'd say game 4, third period, overtime on has been a absolute 45-degree tilt into the other team's end.
They have found a completely different level, and like we keep saying, they're finding a new identity. And we talked about it on pre-gaming, Pangs, how crazy it is to say that are the Edmonton Oilers getting healthier as they get to the NHL playoffs because of guys like Kaner, like Frederick, like Klingberg. McDavid and Draisaitl sat out the end of the regular season to get as close to 100% strength as possible. That's something that you got to be pretty grateful for as you get here in the second round of the NHL playoffs. Dubes, is there anything else that we haven't touched on, Panger? Dubes, I know it's midnight where you are at. It's a positive night here at Greta Barrieg. I'm feeling damn good. I would ask you, is it Calvin Pickard's net in the next game? No shit, it's Calvin Pickard's net in the next game, right?
We can stop talking about that now. Yeah, there's no question. There's zero question. It's not even close. Listen, he's got a leash now. I think we're past the point of like for the first few, it's like, oh, he slips up and has an off game, then Skinner's back in net. I think he's created some leash for himself to hopefully not need it. But I think he's given himself a little buffer to hang on to the net right now and continue to go. I don't think it's an automatic switch here. If he has a game that he struggles a little bit, I think he's earned the right to have a little bit of room if he does have an off game. And certainly right now it's not looking that way. But all he's shown is like he doesn't crack in these games. I mean, look at game 6 against LA, right? Couple quick ones. They're down 2-1 like 4 minutes into the game, and he just settles in and lets the boys come back, and then they're up 5-2 and they hang on to win, and they're down 2-0 out here. And listen, that building in Vegas is nuts too. So Vegas goes up 2-0 early. There's times that he could crack and it could get out of control and get down 3 and 4, and he just hasn't shown any of that at all. So he hasn't given anybody any reason to even consider, regardless of what happens, in the next game, he's earned the right to hold the net for the foreseeable future right now.
He has given me no reason to doubt him, not just this postseason, in the regular season, last year's postseason, last year's regular season. He's just a consummate professional through and through. I do think, Panger, it's something you brought up. It's the attributed to 33 years young, damn it. But he's kind of been through everything in his NHL career. There's nothing that really comes as a surprise. And here is he's really playing and living a dream here for the Edmonton Oilers. Stuart Skinner, I love you. Get comfortable on the bench right now because I think this is Calvin Pickard's net. And like we talked, I think if Picks had a stinker in this game, I think there would have been a lot of the fan base saying, okay, it's time to go back to Stuart Skinner. And once again, he has 15 saves on 17 shots, but it was the quality of them, the clutchness. And if it ain't broke, do not fix it. I am simply going with that. Devan Dubnyk, former Edmonton Oilers goaltender. I'll have you know, my 85-year-old grandfather just texted me and said, we did it. Also, shout out Dubes, he said. So he's a massive fan of you. And Dubes, we've got a new episode of Ask Doobie dropping tomorrow, I believe at 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I do believe you get any good questions this week?
Yeah, it's been great. I've had tons of fun answering everybody's questions. So everybody make sure you get your questions in. Hashtag Ask Doobie on all the social media platforms. We're answering as much as we can. Ones that we don't answer, we're putting in the bank, so we'll get to them. But it's been a lot of fun, and we're just going to keep building this thing and looking forward to doing it every week.
Okay, so two things. Dubes, you're doing fantastic work. The viewership is also just skyrocketing on these shows. Everybody's loving the clips. Everybody wants you to be the Edmonton Oilers goalie coach. If you read the comments, holy shit, that's all it is. Screw Dustin Schwartz. Let's go Devan Dubnyk. So, hey, maybe you'll have that as an avenue. But the other one, your homework, can you please give me Ryan Jones's number and I can see if I can try and get him on a show at some point? Because if we can get Dubnyk and Ryan Jones together, that'd be the ultimate dream in one shot. But I haven't stopped thinking about that since you mentioned that on pre-gaming.
Hey, we'll get him on 100%. I have no question. We'll get him on here.
Okay, that's perfect, Doobie. We love you. We appreciate you. And we will talk again Thursday pre-gaming before Game 2 between the Edmonton Oilers and Las Vegas Golden Knights. It's past midnight over there. Get to bed, Dubes.
All right, cheers, boys. Have fun.
See you.
There he is, Devan Dubnyk. Brought to you by Jasper Travel. Get out there this summer. Also want to give a quick shout-out. You can see it, Panger and I think we've enjoyed a couple of them. Shout out to Budweiser, baby, because they are doing awesome things this playoff season. It's been, 45 years of brewing that beautiful golden liquid in Edmonton. And shout out to an Edmonton native, one Mark Messier. He's partnering up with Budweiser. They've got the Edmonton cans rolling around this city. Get you primed up, get you geared up for a long playoff run. They got all kinds of Easter eggs and things towards the history of the Edmonton Oilers and the city of champions. Because, damn it, we are bringing it back, and we're going to find a way to do that. Pangs, how awesome is Devan Dubnyk?
Man,
He's
what a
just
nice
such a
dude.
beauty. Such a beauty.
What a nice dude. Yeah, I really enjoyed.
A lot of people in the chat. Brown is a playoff performer. I can see Patrick Puff right now sweating so hard. He just had to take off his lucky jersey, in which he is now 5-0 inside of his Darnell Nurse jersey. And now he's getting cold, and now he's all over the place. Let's just relive it all. Let's do the Greta scoring summary brought to you by Greta Bar Yeg, my favorite spot in the entire city. We had an awesome night tonight, Tuesday night. You couldn't tell. You can never tell when you're down here at Greta Bar Yeg. The patio was open. The breeze is flowing. The beers were flowing. The Budweiser beers were flowing. Let's kick it off because, as I said, that was arguably one of the worst ways you could start a hockey game. We talked with Dubes about one of the keys to the victory, the Edmonton Oilers PK. Well, shit, taking a double minor not even 2 minutes into the hockey game, not a great strategy if you do so, ask me. So it's the Golden Knights getting on the board first. It's Shea Theodore ripping a puck from the point, and I believe it gets redirected by Wild Bill Carlson and hits Mark Stone's skate as well. So it was 2:13 into the hockey game. The Edmonton Oilers love going down in hockey games. They love to make me bet the comeback. And hey, once you're an experienced Bet365 better like that, you know your time to pounce. But tough one, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, not intentional, obviously. But I think he got Keegan Colasar up in the face. I can't remember who it was. Either way, double minor. Hanger. It's a pretty terrible way to start a hockey game.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not gonna lie. It's one kick in the nuts with the vibes. So not, like 2 minutes in,
We were just chanting "Let's go Oilers," and then
boom, and we're like, "Are you kidding me?" But yeah, on this goal here, you know what? One thing that I noticed about the Vegas Golden Knights in the first period, I think they were more they had more shots than the Oilers in the first period. I think, or the ice was tilted in their favor more. And what they were doing is they were trying to get deflections as much as they can. 2 deflections here onto Mark Stone's stick, who has probably the worst knob I've ever seen on a hockey stick. Like, I don't even know what that is.
That's gross to look at.
Like, yeah,
and he's gross to
like
look
foul.
at. I will also
it's
say that.
Foul. But anyway, it's a nice tip. There's really no chance for Pickard here on this play.
No, once again, that's why you don't want to go down, amen, that early on in the hockey game. But don't worry, it got worse, brother, because the Oilers end up turning it over in the offensive zone, and it's Mark Stone scoring his second goal of the hockey game. So the Golden Knights rush it down the ice. Eichel has time and space, and that was the thing. They didn't have a ton of that in this hockey game. I know mentally in this moment I went, someone get on him there. I don't want you to give him time to raise his head up. Drops it back to Mark Stone, and Corey Perry, what you doing there, brother? I mean, once again, hindsight is 20/20. It's easy for me to sit here in this chair and say what you're doing, but Mark Stone easily waits him out on that one. Casually walks past him, and then he rips one past our pal Cal. Tough start for the Oilers. Down 2, not even 10 minutes into the hockey game. Greta always delivers. Not going to lie, I'm sitting there. I said it to Brett afterwards, and I went, man, there was a moment in there, and I went, this place is pretty dead with energy. Somebody better pick up the vibes. And then I went, oh, fuck, I'm the guy who has to pick up the vibes inside this bar. What am I going to say? Don't worry, we got it back. I started throwing out some merchandise, but tough one there as well. You give the Golden Knights time and space, they're going to make you pay.
Absolutely. That kind of gave me like shades of the LA series when the Oilers just game 1. You know, they went down, I think 4-0 in that first game there. And the thing before on that clip, it was like, I think it was Connor McDavid who gave that puck away. So I didn't want that to kind of affect their mojo. And yeah, I mean, it was a good play by the Knights, 3-on-2, and they made no mistake and buried it. So
the next one we got, is this?
Yeah.
It's
a good.
You know what, Pat? I don't want to watch that again. You know what? I'm actually done with that. Let's watch Corey Perry do some awesome things here. His third
Klingberg.
of the
Watch
NHL playoffs.
Klingberg pass.
John Klingberg,
Boom.
it's your world. I am just living in it, man. It's a beautiful breakout pass from behind the net. And then, as I said, there's so many touches from the Oilers forwards. Klinger doesn't even register an assist on this play. So it's tape to tape to Leon Draisaitl, finds a streaking Connor McDavid, who finds Corey Perry at the side of the net. And much like Mark Stone outweighted him, he outweighted Aiden Hill and was able to slide it past the goal line and get the Oilers in this game. That was a huge one. I cannot lie. 16-26 into the first period. Felt like we had signs of life. We had proof of life from the Oilers, said they are not dead. And then pretty much from there on out, the Oilers took over this hockey game. But Corey Perry, the worm, continues to do it. It's insane to me that we're sitting here. He's this old, the senior citizen, whatever he is. The boots aren't there. We are in game 1 of the second round, and we're like, yeah, man, let's put 97-29 and Corey Perry together. No one questions it. It's a great decision because he can play with skill players just like this. He's such a high hockey IQ player, knows where he needs to be in the dirty area, and he finds a way to tuck home what would start a beautiful unanswered goal-scoring run from the Edmonton Oilers.
That was he showed such patience on that goal. Corey Perry has probably one of the best value contracts in the NHL at $1.4 million. If you give that puck in front of the net to any other player in the NHL that makes $1.4 million, they're just whacking at it right away. But Corey Perry showed the patience and tuck it, and that's why he's a former Hart Trophy winner and 50-goal scorer.
I saw a photo today, tweeted, I think it was by Oilers Adam, and it was Corey Perry playing the Edmonton Oilers in 2006.
Oh, jeez.
That's just wild, brother. That's something that I can't even process my brain with something like that. But we move to the third period. So the second period, the Oilers completely dominate that thing. The ice is completely tilted. They outshoot the Vegas Golden Knights by a score of 12-1. The problem, they couldn't find a way to beat Aiden Hill. They had chance after chance after chance. He continued to stand tall. Vegas had nothing going the other way. So you're going into the third period going, okay, we're feeling good. We're dominating this game. I'm checking the deserve to win meter because I'm classic in my loser talk bag if it wasn't going to go our way. And then Leon Draisaitl. You got to be lucky to be good. You got to be good to be lucky. So the Oilers break it out of their own end. Connor McDavid shot out of a cannon from behind his own net like Devan Dubnyk pointed out. He then throws it back when he enters the zone, goes from goal line to goal line, throws it back to one Evan Bouchard, throws that puck on the net. Crazy bounce kind of ensues here where Leon Draisaitl would inevitably backhanded out of the air, off the ice, off of Adin Hill's pad, and then eventually crosses over the goal line. This is what we talked about. I was texting Dupe saying they just got to stick with it. They are the aggressor. They are dominating. Eventually the Knights are going to crack. You're going to get a bounce, and you're going to capitalize. Of course, if Leon Draisaitl finds a way to score a goal just like that, add that to your resume. But, dude, they stuck with it, and before you know it, not even a minute into the third period, they tied up.
That one was definitely not a Picasso, that's for sure.
Or was it?
Not going to make the highlight. Or was it? Or did he mean to do that? You mentioned that Adin Hill was shutting the door in the second period. I will credit to the whole Vegas defense. They were using that zone defense. They were really keeping the Oilers to the outside. And I was trying to think of, like, how are they going to crack, score next? And puck's on net. Evan Bouchard, puck on net. Like you said, lucky bounce. Or was it? Maybe they drew that up.
It was all a part of their master plan. God damn it, Evan Bouchard, evil genius, if you ask me. Sometimes you don't know what team he's playing for, but that's all a part of the evil genius madness he's got going on. So the Oilers continue, take it to the Golden Knights in that third period, and you're going, this is going to be a late one tonight. This has the feeling of a single overtime, double overtime, get into the triple overtime, that we're going to be here up till 1 a.m. until Zachary Martin Hyman has entered the chat. If he wants to literally enter the chat right now, I would let him. 3:02 left in the hockey game. The Edmonton Oilers break it out of their own end. Who has the pass that starts it all? Of course, it's one John Klingberg. The puck ends up on a late streaking Zachary Hyman stick. And look at that shot that he beats Adin Hill. He takes his time, locks and loads that thing. Beautiful feed from the second line. That's the depth that we're talking about, man. The fact that Zach Hyman can play still with skilled players like Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Evander Kane. Look at the Moss pit going nuts. Nice. Look at Mama Stanley. She was allowed entry tonight. I guess she was denied entry a couple games ago. Yeah. That's bullshit from OEG. You got to find a way to work her in there, or somebody in the crowd has to go, I'm out. This just a beautiful, beautiful clutch goal from one Zachary Martin. Hyman hit the third leg on Bordzy's bankroll. I needed 1+ point.
Yeah, again, credit to John Klingberg. Oh, my gosh, what a game from him. And the puck gets to Zach Hyman, and maybe they knew the scouting report on Adin Hill, too. I was watching Jason Greger's show, and I think Kevin Woodley, Adin Hill has maybe about like 600, 650 save percentage on his glove. And Hyman absolutely sniped it. He's not known to score from a distance. He usually scores within a few feet from the blue paint, but he absolutely ripped it there.
It's beautiful. What did I just see here? Oilers goat. We're not getting Dallas, Klingberg, they said. Another one in here. There's so many of you guys in the chat. You're fan. All right, I'm just losing them all in here now. But by the way, it was something from Mistaken Mexican. Oh, it was that he really loves the look of this Oilers second line of Nuge, Kane, and Hyman. We mentioned on pre-gaming how Hyman was laying the body so much in round one, and that maybe there's a factor of you've got Evander Kane on the one wing, you're Hyman. Hey, Bash Brothers, baby. Yeah. You both go down there. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, very skilled down the middle of the ice. We talked about it in the regular season, especially at the end of the regular season when we'll say content was a little hard to find a way to talk about things. No Connor, no Leon, no everybody. But you're able to play that fun game, plug and play. This guy goes here, but you don't know if any of those combinations are actually going to work out and have chemistry together. I'd argue all four of these trios right now are cooking and cooking with gas, I might even add. So Zach Hyman gets the Oilers the 3-2 lead. Connor Brown, oh man, it's his world, and we are just living it. His fourth of the NHL playoffs, assisted by Evan Bouchard. Look at this move around the Vegas Golden Knights defenseman. Once again, goes glove side, I do believe, on Adin Hill. There's nothing like a Connor Brown goal reaction. I think it's because we were robbed of him for close to 60 games last season, but just a thing of beauty. He's jacked up. He loves this team. I love the effort he brings night in and night out, and he has been one of the biggest X factors for the Edmonton Oilers so far in this postseason. What a beautiful goal. What a way to cap off something we've even yet to mention, a Game 1 win.
Absolutely. Connor Brown, he is the driver of that third line.
Look at how much they love him. Look
Man,
at Leon.
He's such a beauty. I feel last year he was recovering from a knee injury, right? And it took him a little bit to get into the swing of things. I think that definitely he is in the swing of things right now. Connor Brown, one thing that I like about his sellies, though, you said he's fired up. We've seen Connor Brown after scoring, smiling and laughing. What do we say in pregame? It's business.
It's all about business.
It's business
all about
right
that
now.
business.
Connor Brown is serious, and he wants to win. Can I bring up that stat line from that?
Yes, please.
Okay, so Connor Brown, Trent Frederick, Adam Henrique, they played 10-22 at 5-on-5. They produced a goal, and the high danger chances were 4-1. That line was buzzing. They hit posts. They could have had 2-3 goals tonight. Amazing goal from that third line. And as mentioned, Connor Brown was the driver of that line.
Connor Brown was great. Trent Frederick continues to bring the boom night in and night out. And Adam Henrique, don't look now, starting to look more like that guy that had 24 goals with the Anaheim Ducks. He'll never be asked to do things like that, but we know he has the offensive capabilities. And I do think through his Oilers tenure here, he's been a little handcuffed with some of the line mates he's had. I know that has been Brownie, it's been Janmark at points, but right now, him, Frederick, Brownie, they are cooking with gas as the Edmonton Oilers do defeat the Las Vegas Golden Knights by a score of 4-2. Calvin Pickard stops 15 of 17 in the W. 8-0 stops 24 of 28. I also want to give a shout out on the Connor Brown goal. Earlier today, I had placed all my bets for Bordzy's Bankroll. I had also sprayed on a couple other things responsibly, of course, as you do so. Only bet what you're willing to lose. But I had a couple shillings left in the account. I turned to Kennedy. Kennedy's Trash, if you know her from Twitter, the queen of Oilers Nation. I said, give me one name for an anytime goal scorer. She said Connor Brown. I bet on it. There it is, plus 600. Thing of beauty. Shout out Kennedy.
Right after she came and sellied with you. And
yeah, she ran all the way across the bar. I went, holy shit, did you actually bet it? And I went, yep. Of course I did, because I believe in Connor Brown. Let's go now to the good, the bad, and the oily. Brought to you by Oodle Noodle. Download their new app today. And once you do, and you sign up for their customer loyalty rewards program, you will get 1,500 loyalty points, which is actually $15 in real cash value. Don't walk, run. Except you can't actually run. So move your thumbs really fast. Go to the Google Play Store. Go to the App Store. Download that app. Do it today, and you could be enjoying some. Did I say Edo Noodle? I don't think I said that. No. I think I said Oodle Noodle. No. I'll say it. Fuck Edo. Kick it off for me here, Patrick. Let's go with the good. We simply went with stealing home ice. Brother, this has completely flipped the momentum of this series. It's so funny because you play 82 games in the regular season to try and get home ice, to try and win the Pacific Division. And then before you know it, you drop one game. Everything's kind of flipped on its head here now. Series far from finished, but you can only win what's right in front of you, only put one foot in front of the other. Tonight, the Edmonton Oilers got better and better as that hockey game went along. I think the Vegas Golden Knights should be a little bit nervous heading into Game 2, but regardless of what happens in Game 2, dude, the mission has and always will be steal home ice advantage on the road, steal one game. Check, baby, we already did it.
Absolutely, and I think at this point now, the pressure wholeheartedly is on the Vegas Golden Knights. They dropped the ball on the first game. They were up 2-0 in the first period. And then the Oilers, I'd like to know what was said in that second intermission, because that's probably one of the best second periods I've seen them play in the playoffs. So right now, all the pressure is on Vegas Golden Knights, and I feel when you have a netminder in the crease that's going to make the big saves like Calvin Pickard, the Oilers should be feeling very good heading into the next game.
Another good could just simply be Calvin Pickard for continuing to be 5-0. Right. Maybe he'll get the boom when we get around to that one. And I don't know, man. Goaltending, voodoo in the NHL. Makes no fucking sense. Left, right, and center. One day you're great. One day you're dog shit. I'll never totally... One day you get a $25 million contract for 5 years, and next year you're bought out. So I don't actually totally understand how these things work. But you've seen it through the history of the NHL playoffs, and I don't want to get too far ahead of me. But remember, like, the Montreal Canadiens and, like, Yaroslav Halak was carrying the Canadiens to the conference final, just Goaltending, it's about being hot at the right time, and not even that necessarily. Calvin Pickard's numbers are amazing, blow you away, anything like that. But hey, I believe in a little bit of Cinderella magic here for Calvin Pickard, and this could be an incredible run. With good comes bad, and bad we went with the first 10 minutes of this hockey game, because holy shit, I was feeling pretty downtrodden about that one. You obviously take the double minor to start the hockey game. Then you have a turnover in the offensive end. Before you know it, it's on Jack Eichel's stick, and he's dropping back to Mark Stone. He's making Corey Perry look like he's taking a nap on the ice. He says he's just sliding right past him in pangs. It was a tough one, first 10 minutes. The good part of this bad is the next 15 minutes were pretty damn good from the Edmonton Oilers, but the bad tonight, that start to the hockey game being down 0-2.
Yeah, and hopefully the Oilers can learn from that. Hey, boys, let's just not dig ourselves a
I
hole.
don't think they're ever going to learn from
I know.
that.
I just have to say it. I just have to say it. But it was horrendous. And one thing that a player that it was an example of that and how they grew as the game went on was Jake Wallman. He gave this terrible giveaway right to the Vegas Golden Knight player, right up the middle. But then as the game went on, he made several huge blocks, good D, good sticks. So, a bad start overall.
Also, when he turned that puck over, you knew who came streaking back the other way and saved the day? Connor Brown. It was Connor Brown. It was Connor Brown on that one, because he just does it. Also, I see somebody in here threw a bad, it was McDowell. Penalty kill needs to find a way to be better. I agree with that, but once again, as long as they find a way to do it in the clutch moments, like in that third period with the game on the line, they got it done.
Yeah.
Also, there's borderline sex going down on the dance floor right now.
I don't
Pat,
know.
You gotta look over your shoulder right now.
I'm so distracted.
I'm talking bent over on the dance. That's what you get. That's what you get here at Bar Yag. It's a Tuesday night. It's
utmost focus.
I'm like feeling like awkward. Like I don't want to watch these people fuck on the dance floor right now. With good comes bad. With bad comes oily. Let's get to that one. The dance floor. It's the Connor Brown goal. Man. Pat, just show it one more time for me, because it was a thing of beauty. And we talked about it, Pat, during the game, that the map joke, the map bit that we had going on last year. If you're new here, it took him, 55 or 56 games, something like that, to score a goal for the Edmonton Oilers. We tracked how many kilometers he skated in a game, every single game, and tracked him across Canada from Edmonton Rogers Place. I believe he made it all the way to Lloydminster, somewhere around there. But that is what makes goals like this all that more special. And I think what has made him kind of a fan favorite, because he was coming off a torn ACL last season, took him a minute. He also had a great quote after round one. It was after, I forget, what was Vander Kane's first goal. And he said, took me nearly 60 games to score a goal when I missed a year. Took Vander Kane 6 periods, and he found a way to do it. I love Brownie's attitude. You can see the players on the bench just love him and adore him. Re-sign him right now, because I want this guy. He just does everything right.
Absolutely. I think some people tend to forget that Connor Brown, when he was playing with the Ottawa Senators, he was a top 6 guy. And he had that knee injury. And again, it's taken him just a little bit of time to get going. And he's full stride now. This is the Connor Brown that they were expecting last season. I'm so happy for this guy, and he's absolutely fired up. And he is such a driver for that third line. And that third line, I feel, is going to be a huge difference.
I want to go home and play shell with these line combos, because I'm so jacked up with all the combination that you can play with out there and the chemistry that they've shown. Putter says big game Brown. Percy, the map mapped so that Brown could do that. Yeah, no, that's what I'm going to tell myself as well. And if any of you ever see Connor Brown, tell him I apologize for making fun of him for about 55 straight games. It was funny, and I felt justified in doing it. Ren Brownie changed his last name to McDavid for a second there. Ryan S. Sick goal. You damn right it was, Darian. Long live the map. We couldn't bring it back for anybody this season. I mean, we could have done Janmark's stick, but no, once again, we're not raining on any parades. Let's move now to the boom and the doom, brought to you by Odd Company Nation Beer Everyday Lager. Perfect for game day, or perfect for every single day of the week. You can pick them up 2 Edmonton locations, or check liquorconnect.com, find out which local liquor stores are carrying these bad boys. Guys, it's like staring at a train wreck. Like I want to, like it's making me so uncomfortable.
But he's got a
with what's going on.
carabiner and a cape on.
Yeah, he is wearing a cape. Let's make it very clear. He is wearing a cape right now.
Yeah,
so
quite sure.
he's cool with me. He's cool with me. Panger, everyone in the chat, you know the drill. Throw in your booms, then throw in your dooms. Panger, you got a boom. Who brought it tonight?
Oh, I don't want to take yours.
No, you take. No, you go.
No, you know what? I'll
go
go with my guy. You go. John Klingberg.
Yeah.
John Klingberg makes such subtle passes that maybe you don't necessarily see. He doesn't get credited for them. Like he made 2 great passes today, and again didn't get credited for assists on any of those plays. John Klingberg, he's been an absolute beast since joining the playoffs, and I think he was inserted into Game 2 last series. Been a beast ever since. John Klingberg, my boom.
Think of the difference of Josh Brown, 4 minutes and 54 seconds in Game 1,
man, yeah.
to Jonathan Klingberg, who's playing just under 20 minutes a night every night. I don't know who that is, but shout out to you, buddy.
Yeah.
Shout out. He really wanted to come say hello for that one. Pat, you almost had to fight him off right there. That would have been nice. For me, though, I'm going to go with Connor Brown. It's his world. We are just living it. He had a beautiful goal there, but I think he had some beautiful moments defensively as well. Any other options in the chat here? Shaq Hyman, what a snipe. Yeah, he gets the boom. Dustin Schwartz is in. Howdy. Boom. Vegas Golden Knights, awful goalie coach Doom. That blind zebra. Jordan's in, my pal Cal. Yeah, I'd be remiss not to mention that Calvin Pickard should get a boom. Shell, Boom, Klingberg, Doom, the dance floor at Greta are in. I mean, they're not dooming. They're not booming. They're banging. That's kind of what's going on right now. McDoust, Hyman with 6 hits, continues to bring the boom. Is also in here from Mick Diesel. I know that I've got a doom. Do you have a doom?
Yep.
What do you got?
Fucking Mark Stone's knob on his stick. I just can't get over that.
Fair.
Like it's the ugliest thing. I don't know how he even stick handles with that. Yet he scored 2 goals. That is my doom.
There's one thing I will say, Doom, his face, and that knob that he's got on his stick. But the one thing about Mark Stone, we all know him elite offensively, right? Team Canada player. He's one of the best guys. You can put the puck in the back of the net no matter where he is on the ice. But the one thing that I was surprised by in the 4 Nations, but definitely way more so through only 3 periods, but Mark Stone's defensive capabilities out there. He was turning pucks over left, right, and center. That second goal that he scored, where I think it was Leon Draisaitl or McDavid turned the puck over in the offensive zone. It was because of Mark Stone. He was knocking pucks off of Darnell Nurse's stick. Another guy who I could say kind of brought the boom tonight in one Darnell Nurse, but the person I'm going to go with, and unfortunately I couldn't totally find a screenshot to totally show it off, but Matthias Janmark passing up that puck on a 2-on-1 shorthanded in the dead middle of the slot, the dead middle of the ice, 10 feet in front of Aiden Hill, locked, loaded, ready to go, with the defender draped all over Connor Brown. Matthias Janmark decided to pass that puck. This bar exploded with rage. It was so funny. Hey, you got to take the good with the bad with Matthias Janmark. Once again, they're on the penalty kill. The goal is to not get scored on. That one was egregious. Nobody's wearing the jeans tonight for all you Oilers Nation After Dark real fans out there from the regular season. I was giving out a pair of jeans every single night. Who wore jeans under their uniform? Matthias Janmark was wearing the jeans on that play, but not furthermore in that hockey game. Panger, that play was insane. When they showed the replay again and they slowed it down in slow-mo, and he decided to pass that thing up, as I mentioned, that dead open, wide open in the slot. I was baffled, brother.
I was more pissed than I was showing, mostly more so because I have a bet with Matthias Janmark if he scores 2 goals a game. But that being said, aside from that, you got to take those shots. There were some holes on the hill there. So, yeah, Janmark, you got to shoot that next time, buddy.
Did somebody just say I look like Butthead, same smile? Or is he talking about me, or is he talking about somebody else? Please, Dinesh, let me know.
It could be.
I am a Cornholio. I am a Cornholio. Yeah, he gets it. He gets it. Let's go now to Bordzy's Bankroll, brought to you by Bet365, because you know it. Download the app today, whatever the moment. It is never ordinary when you are at Bet365. If you want to get on the action for the Stanley Cup playoffs at Bet365, they got you. From game props, player props, totals, and the money line, you can even bet on futures like series winners, conference champions, the Stanley Cup champions, and much more. Whatever your bet is, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app today to get in on the game. An official partner of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Must be 19 or older. Please play responsibly. And as I always say, eye contact here. Only bet what you're willing to lose. Be smart out there. I don't want anybody being dumb. Pat, pull it up for me. How'd the bankroll do tonight? I know how it did. Kick it off for me because it started off with a Connor McDavid 1+ power play point. I regret to inform you that one, unfortunately, would have a big fat red X all over that. The second option was a Darnell Nurse shot prop to not get 3 shots, only get 2 shots. That one would also have a big fat red X all over it, but Zachary Martin-Hyman anytime point was -110 for my third option. He obviously cashes that one when he scores the game winner. Now, I did get a little extra. I don't get credit for it. I only get credit for what I put on the bankroll. I went 1 for 3 tonight. I am sorry. I will be better, and not to disappoint you. But I will say I am up on the night because I did bet on a Connor Brown anytime goal plus 600. I also made a parlay. Connor, Leon, 2+ points each. That was plus 210. That one cashed as well. And then, unfortunately, no McDavid power play point. Panger, any, no, you didn't wager anything on Bet365
No,
tonight, did you?
I did not. I'm just giggling at the chat. This chat is hilarious.
They are some of the best.
Oh my
They are some of the
gosh.
best. Actually, here, that's a good reminder because I do believe, let me find out where I got lost in my super chats. Oh, there's so many. Okay, there it is. Russell's in with $10. Says absolutely nothing, but I'm going to say it for him. A cup, yeah.
Yeah.
Jordan's in. Old is gold. The worm strikes again. Connor Brown's in. 279. I got the chat going up on a Tuesday. African Child, $5. Not a pair of jeans in sight tonight. Cup, yeah. Except there was a small gene sighting on that Matthias Janmark decision to pass that puck. Fliparto, $20 says drip by drip. That is an homage to our pal Liam because he said it drip by drip. The oil will find a way to win this. Darian, the Rogers wrapped in red event. Yeah, so there we go. Bordzy's bankroll done for that one as well. There's so many checklists on the show that we got to keep going. Let me quickly give a shout out. Will Hawk Beef Jerky. They are the stress munch. If you are watching a hockey game at home, right, you want something you can really bite into that's also fucking delicious. So good. It's amazing. Jerky, sausage, other products. You can get them exclusively out of their Leduc location. For more information and to get yo jerky on, you can head to willhawkbeefjerky.com. They do awesome things over there. Shout out to Trent Wilhawk. Does great stuff. Hanger, is there anything else that we have yet to touch on? I do have to do a couple more ad reads. I guess the one thing I do want to mention is the Edmonton Oilers, their depth, it's looking amazing. Calvin Pickard's looking great. We know what Connor and Leon are fully capable of. I do think this series will be won or lost on the Oilers' defense core, and if they're able to minimize the amount of mistakes that are in their own end. Devan Dubnyk mentioned it there at the closing of his hits and how Vegas couldn't really generate a whole heck of a lot unless the Edmonton Oilers were gift wrapping it to them in their own zone or allowing an odd man rush chance going the other way where the Golden Knights would have time and space with the puck. I do think the more this series wears along, I could see the Golden Knights forwards getting in on a dump and chase style game, banging bodies down low and wearing down the Oilers defense. We know John Klingberg's playing great, hasn't played a ton of hockey over the last very long time, I will say, and some of these Oilers D-men banged up. I got a big emphasis on the 6-man unit, obviously in tough without the veteran, the Viking, Matthias Ekholm. Also quickly want to give some love to Boston Pizza because Patrick Puff, this year, we bring it home, all right? The Leafs are alive. The Oilers are alive. The Winnipeg Jets are alive. Now, to be fair, the first and third one there, I couldn't really care less about. Last year, Boston Pizza had their thing of, would you team up with another Canadian team to bring the Stanley Cup back to Canada? Every single time I did the ad read, I said, absolutely not. There's no way that you can pay me enough for me to cheer for the Maple Leafs or the Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah.
However, Oilers Maple Leafs final, That'd be absolutely fantastic, but I'm getting way too ahead of myself. What'd you think of their win last night over the Florida Panthers? That was a big one. And then Anthony Stolarz puking in the bench. That's a scary sight, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to feel for a guy. Just due to what it could have been with the concussion and everything like that. I didn't know who to cheer for in that game, to be honest with you. Not a big Maple Leafs guy, nor do I really like the Florida Panthers. But it was some good hockey, so you just gotta applaud it for just being exciting hockey. Oh, you know what I will say, Matthew Nyes,
dude, he's nasty.
What a beast!
He's a dog.
Yeah,
with a W, like he's a dog.
Yeah,
he's a dog out there. And I will say this: when it comes, and maybe you'll crucify me in the chat, when it comes to Leafs Panthers, I hate the Florida Panthers so much more than the Toronto Maple Leafs. The amount of rage that I feel towards that squad for ripping my heart out of my chest right here in this very spot, this very chair. Last year, Game 7 of the NHL playoffs. That is a grudge that I will hold on to for the rest of my life. And once again, I don't like the Leafs. You don't like the Toronto media. We love Leafs Nation. Shout out Rosie. Shout out Nick Alberger. Shout out Zach Phillips. Shout out producer Vic. But the hatred just is not nearly as strong when you only play a team like the Toronto Maple Leafs 2 times a season. I mean, I'm just not too concerned about it. Final one I got for you. Big shout out to Garage Superstore. They're great for reorganizing and what you need to do. Garage upgrades and accessories made easy. They've got everything you need to organize, transform, and maximize your space. They got a little bit of everything. They've also got grills, outdoor living stuff. It's really just an all one-stop shop, all-you-can-shop spot for garage stuff and upgrades, accessories. They do great stuff. Shop online or in-store, 3407 Calgary Trail Northwest, South Edmonton, or simply garagesuperstore.ca. Incredibly weird thing that happened to me during this hockey game tonight. Remember when I showed you my roommate sent me a photo that my massive tree in my backyard blew over this evening and smashed into the fence that is between me and my neighbor. Now, to be fair, that was the greatest situation where that tree could have fallen in the photo. I'll bring it on tomorrow, Oilers Nation every day. So many bad things could have happened there. Granted, no, everyone's safe. No one got hurt. It just crushed one section of the fence. Yeah. So I may have to go home right now at like midnight and go start sawzalling or chainsawing this tree that is broken into my fence. But no complaints because the Edmonton Oilers got a big fat W, and that makes everything go down smooth. Let me see here. Any final super chats? No, it's just Darian, the Rogers Wrapped in Red event. So that will do it for us here on Oilers Nation After Dark. Big shout out to Sean Paganeben, writer here at Oilers Nation, producer Patrick Puff behind the scenes, and most importantly, Pat's girlfriend for sticking it out once again. She's been yawning like crazy this whole time. She didn't have to watch what was going down over there on there because we love you. We appreciate you. She's also been good luck since I feel like they've been here. Ever since Pat has been wearing his Darnell Nurse jersey. Pat, what is the record that you are now at when you wear it?
Well, now I'm with picks. So as soon as they toss picks in, I'm 5-0 with this jersey on. And I didn't wear it the first 2 games at all, so I got to keep it rolling.
I think you're sleeping in it tonight, Patrick, and I don't think I'm going to let you wear anything else, brother. That's producer Patrick Puff does bang-up job, also bang-up job on Daily Face-Off Live. Everyone in the chat, I love you. I appreciate you. I love doing these shows after Edmonton Oilers big fat orange W's. That's an homage to the regulars from ONAD. Shout out to all of our sponsors. We couldn't do what we do without them. Most importantly, shout out to Greta Baryag for putting on another fantastic event on a Tuesday night. I feel like air hockey never stops getting played inside this bar at any point. The game was like 3 minutes left, and I can still hear in the background, bing, 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 bing. Shout out to everybody who came out. You guys are the best. Throw down your courtesy like on your way out. If you're new here, hey, hit that subscribe button. Tap the bell for notifications. We go live all the time. All kinds of crazy content here for the NHL playoffs. I will be doing pre- and post-gaming here at Greta for every single game on our way to a Cup, yeah. That'll do it for us. Over and out. Sleep tight. Talk tomorrow, 12:01 Mountain Standard Time. Oilers Nation every day. Peace. Woo.